Hello and welcome. This is Giant Strides, powered by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC. And I am your host, Jules AK. Today, I'll be having a conversation with Engineer Jenifer Adighije, who was recently appointed by Mr. President as the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, NDPHC, on the 26th of August, 2024. Now, for those who do not know, the NDPHC is a key player in Nigeria's power sector, focused on delivering efficient electricity supply in the nation. So let's dive straight into the conversation with Engineer Jenifer Adighije as she shares her vision, her plan, and strategies for NDPHC's future. Good day and welcome. My name is Juliet AK and I am so delighted to be in the midst of Engineer Jenifer Adighije. Mar, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you. The pleasure is always mine.
First of all, I want to say congratulations on this amazing achievement of being the first ever female managing director of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Wow, how does it feel to break such a glass ceiling?
Thank you very much. And just to add to that, yes, I'm the first female MD, and I'm also the first engineer to be the MD of the NDPHC. So it's such an honor and it's such a privilege to have been nominated by Mr. President to play this very pivotal role in government. And it's a privilege that I do not take for granted. I'm very conscious of the task ahead and fully prepared to hit the ground running.
We're here about the power sector. What is your vision for the power sector in Nigeria? How do you plan to achieve that through the Niger Delta Power Holding Company?
Let me start by letting you know that the vision of the NDPHC is very clear to myself and my team. And the NDPHC was incorporated in 2005 to implement the National Integrated Power Project, NIPP. And the NIPP was a fast-track initiative of the government to enhance power generation capacity and also for transmission grid network capacity expansion as well. And so the vision, like I said, is very clear to us. And so upon assumption of office, myself and my team came up with a very strategic vision, which is built around optimization. Optimization anchored on three key pillars. Having recognized that as a GenCo, my KPIs are generally around improving and enhancing our generation capacity. So pillar number one is essentially around optimizing the performance of our power plants to drive revenues for the company. And the overarching goal is to enhance and improve our shareholder rewards. And pillar number two is to optimize our operational processes to be able to sustain organizational efficiency. And pillar number three will be to leverage human capital and technology to sustain positive change and to drive transformation over time.
Fantastic. And you have literally hit the ground running because it's been over 100 days since you assumed office and we've seen you everywhere. You have been to a lot of NDPHC facilities and power plants, inspecting. And I would like to know, what are your key takeaways from your inspections, and how does that affect the plan that you already have on ground?
It's essentially embarking on the power plant tour is essentially to be able to have a holistic approach in formulating a plan and a strategy that would ensure that we can deliver on our mandate and on our vision. Mm-hmm. And so in the first few weeks in office, we took it upon ourselves as the new management to embark on extensive power plant tour. As you know, we have 7 commercially operational power plants and we have 3 power plants that are under construction. So we visited the power plants, starting with the Calabar GenCo, from Calabar to Aloji, from Aloji to Egbema, Omoko, and then in the second phase, we went along the western axis to the power plants along that axis, Omotosho, Ihonvo, and Oloroshogo power plant. And the essence was simply to have an on-the-spot assessment of the needs of the power plants, material and non-material, the needs of the staff as well. And so that was able to give us a better understanding of the tailored approach towards the delivery of our mandates. And we've also now come up with strategies to ensure that we address the gaps that we have identified while on site. Also, while visiting the plants under construction, it was an opportunity for us to track the progress of the contractors working on those projects, and an opportunity for us to also maintain a handshake with them and to provide enablers for them that would ensure that we accelerate the progress on those projects and come up with a recovery plan for the lost time on the projects.
Okay, fantastic. Well, and I know that you've also had opportunities to have meetings with very key stakeholders in the power sector. You've met with the CEO of NEC, you've met with the Honorable Minister of Power, the Honorable Minister of Finance. You've met with also several governors and deputy governors. So I would like to know what was the outcome of these meetings, and how do you plan to leverage such kind of meetings in order to achieve your strategic goals?
It's important to note that the power sector is huge, and of course it's highly regulated. And there are 3 subsectors in the power sector. So we have the GENCO subsector, we have the transmission subsector, and we have the distribution subsector. So as NDPHC, we operate as a generation company in the GENCO subsector. However, our goals, our objectives align in line with the mandate of Mr. President, which is the Renewed Hope agenda being delivered and being championed by the Honorable Minister. There are sector-wide goals, there are sector-wide targets, and so it's important that as stakeholders, as players in the sector, that we constantly maintain a synergy to advance the goals of the sector. For instance, we know that the Honorable Minister has set a sector-wide target, generation and distribution target of 6,000 megawatts. So it's important for us to constantly engage with the stakeholders, because our goal is to deliver the energy that we generate through the transmission, effectively transmit it through the transmission, and strategically deliver it to the end users and collect revenue for that service that we provide. So it's important that we maintain that handshake with all the stakeholders and not losing sight of the fact that it's highly regulated, and the NERC, it's the responsibility of the NERC to oversee the regulation and ensure that all the players are able to adhere to the regulations. And very recently, the regulator also issued an order that is to the advantage of GENCOs like us, where we're now able to transition to bilateral trading, engage new customers on bilateral basis to unlock a lot of our stranded capacity. So it's important that we constantly create the platform to synergize and for us to advance our common goal and our corporate goal as an entity.
Okay, so of course, in the last 100 days, you have done all these things, and I'm sure that there are some notable achievements that you have been able to accomplish. Do you mind highlighting some of these achievements for us?
Well, just the notable ones among several others. Like I mentioned earlier, we're very bullish about restoring our assets, because we want to ensure that we're able to optimize the performance and delivery of energy to the last mile end user. And so we came up with a recovery plan, a very robust recovery plan early in my administration and with my team, where we've been able to restore 2 gas turbine units, 1 in Calabar and 1 in Omotosho. So that is contributing now 230 megawatts to the national generating capacity. And then also we have a robust recovery plan that would see to bring in 4 more gas turbines, bringing them online by December 31st, 1 in Omotosho, 2 in Benin, and 1 in Ogorode. And that will also add another 450 megawatts contribution to the national grid capacity. So like I said, which is in line with the Honorable Minister's sector-wide target of 6,000 megawatts. And then we've also been able to gain some milestones in debt recovery. We've been able to recover some funds from our cross-border bilateral customer in Togo in dollars. And we've also been able to recover some debt from our bilateral discos here, Eco Disco, and a number of other eligible customers running into millions. I wouldn't want to mention the figure for obvious reasons.
Of course.
But that has also enhanced our cash flow. And then we're able to settle some of our gas invoices. And then we've also made several milestones in terms of staff welfare. We're now converting some of our third-party manpower in the power plants. We're bringing them on board and absorbing them as NDPHC staff, very critical manpower in our power plants. And we've also been able to complete a number of projects that had started in the previous administration. We've been able to complete across the transmission and distribution sectors. We've completed a 1.7.5 MVA 33/11 kV injection substation in Maiduguri, another 1x15 MVA injection substation in Maiduguri, another 1x7.5 MVA 33/11 kV injection substation in Delta, amongst several others that are due for completion by Q1 2025. And then a major one also that we're about to pre-commission with TCN is the AFAM Ikodekpene 330 kV double circuit transmission line, which would enhance the transmission corridor along the AFAM expansion bay axis. And so why we actually invest in transmission and distribution projects is because it's quite profound for us to be able to ensure that we generate efficiently and we can effectively transmit over a stable grid, and we can distribute to the end users and for the discos to collect revenue and improve their revenue collection rates. And the overall impact is that, that would enhance the liquidity of the sector, which is driven by the downstream demand in the market. So which is why we're also very keen on investing in distribution assets and projects.
Wow, this is a lot. You have done remarkably well in 100 days. And I'm sure that in the weeks, months, and years to come, so much more will be achieved. And a lot of people have so much to say concerning the improvements that have come in the power sector. We want to say thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to be here with you today. And we look forward to even more opportunities.
Thank you. And I look forward to the journey ahead in line with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda for advancing our collective prosperity as a nation through access to electricity and energy security.
Well done. Thank you so much, ma'am. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that interview with Engineer Jenifer Adighije, the MD of the NDPHC. Now, here are a couple of her notable achievements in the last 100 days. Here are a few notable achievements of the new leadership of NDPHC, led by Engineer Jenifer Adighije. Enhance electricity access by completion of ongoing distribution projects across Yola and Benin discos. Enhance electricity transmission network by the completion of AFAM Ikodekpene double circuit transmission line and AFAM 330 kV line bay extension. Improve cash flow through the recovery of debt from cross-border bilateral client set. Improve staff morale through the conversion of critical manpower with third-party contracts to full-time NDPHC staff across power plants. Driving operational efficiency through creating digitalized system of tracking and monitoring inventory of machine O&M spare parts, saving on procurement costs and lead time. Enhance procurement practices by the establishment of a price benchmarking desk via market surveys to mitigate procurement gaps and lead time for cost savings. Advanced discussions with TCN and NEC, National Electricity Regulatory Commission, on recouping investments on assets handed over to TCN worth over 100 billion naira. Asset recovery from insurance underwriters, AG Zurich, through fulfillment of insurance claims on GT2 fire incident at Alo G plant. Recovery of 110 stranded containers at One Port since 2016 by collaborating with NCS to obtain a special concession from the Controller General of Customs, which saved the company over 20 billion naira in custom charges, demurrage, and levies. Furthermore, the leadership of the NDPHC, in collaboration with the government, is dedicated to ensuring an improvement in the power sector with several initiatives, one of which is the Presidential Metering Initiative, PMI, set to commence in 2025. The initiative will target 2 million unmetered Nigerians, which is set to be the game changer for the power sector, as it will enhance liquidity across the entire ecosystem. With measurable progress being made and more to come, the leadership of the NDPHC are poised to bring to life the renewed hope mandate of Mr. President and make a difference in the power sector in Nigeria for greater productivity in the economy. In a bid to boost industrial growth and economic development, the management team of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC, embarked on a strategic visit to the Agbara Industrial Cluster, located in Ogun State, Nigeria. The Agbara Industrial Cluster is home to several commercial and industrial enterprises, making it a hub of economic activity in the region. The NDPHC management team, led by engineer Jenifer Adighije, visited the industrial cluster to conduct technical and commercial assessment as part of the eligible customer program under the Light Up Nigeria initiative. A key highlight of the visit was the inspection of the Agbara 132/33 kV transmission substation, a critical facility that represents the hub of the upcoming project under the Light Up Nigeria initiative. The visit was necessary to carry out a technical assessment of the facility and discuss associated projects geared towards increasing the capacity of the substation to supply the industrial cluster.
At least at most there's 1 month. What about to energize it? Energize that's your completely. What's your total load so far? What is the so far on this side of this? They have over 50 megawatts. Maximum and average. So you will take up to 8 or 9 megawatts. Then you have T5, T6. The two of them already is 15 MVA. So when you calculate 15, 18, 9, more than 35. So if you add up, then T4 is already as though that's a district project. You will always bring it in. Only the two transformers, the 3415 transformers, is 45 MVA. If you add 18 of Badagry, it's over 60. Add 9 of Badagry, 10 of Badagry Express, it's over 70. Add 9 of Guinea Glass, we're talking about 80. And the transfer capacity is less than. Transfer capacity is 60. But 75% loading, Abi? 75% loading cannot give you more than it's about 47 point something. That's 75% loading of the transfer, which is the normal ideal loading of the transfer. It's 47.5. So you see, we are losing more than 40.
This one,
40 megawatts.
This one now add up. This one is
going to give us 200.
100 and
200.
No, I'm talking of power.
No, it's not 125. No,
look at the transformer is 125 MV.
See, 125 MV to add feeders, extra room for extra feeders for the new transformer to bring in more customers. So
What
that's
of the fleet?
Yeah, that's going to buy that. So it's 45. Other put it heavily on the overloaded.
it's not even up to the capacity. You have corridor.
The other one is that is not coming in terms of this.
No, is that one not?
That's the transformer in service. It has its own, it's a different level.
Is it on top of the 132?
Yes, something like that.
During a press briefing, the NDPHC management team shared their vision for scaling up electric power supply to Agbara industrial area, while ensuring compliance with industry regulations, creating a mutually beneficial project implementation framework, and supporting the energy vision of President Ahmed Tinubu through the office of Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima.
We're here on a working visit to the Agbara Industrial Cluster in Lagos State. We do know that the Light Up Nigeria project was birthed here, and the Light Up Nigeria project is powered by the Office of the Vice President, and we're in full alignment with that project. Our overarching goal is to ensure that we're able to deliver quality, reliable, and affordable electricity to the last mile, and the industrial clusters are particularly our priority. We do know that a lot of them are self-generating and relying on heavy amounts of money to be able to sustain their production lines. And therefore, with this visit, we're able to make several considerations that would ensure that we take the project to the next level. The considerations that we'll be making would have to be, number one, in alignment with the industry regulator, and then number two, also, we would ensure that Mr. President's Renewed Hope agenda, we're able to achieve that for energy inclusion, and then lastly, we would ensure that the interests of the company and the overall interests and common good are served.
The team also engaged with key stakeholders, including industry leaders and representatives of the Agbara Industrial Cluster, to discuss the project's objectives, timelines, and expected outcomes.
In case we hear the continuous fire, there might be non-alcoholic beverage. With our advice, all the selling staircase are selling on the selling staircase so that we can actually from this door go straight through the door that we came in from.
Guided by external regulations or by set down the second consideration is that we're barely 5 to 6 weeks in office, so we need to kind of agenda to protect because of the importance of the Light Up Nigeria projects. Just our organization is best. And lastly, of course, here is also let's go to the break. Alignment with Mr. President, we need to agenda.
As the NDPHC continues to work towards achieving its goals under the Eligible Customer Program, the Agbara Industrial Cluster is poised to benefit from increased electric power supply, paving the way for sustained industrial growth and economic development in the region. And it's a wrap on Giant Strides for this week. Until next time, I remain Jules Adighije. Thank you so much for joining us.